what his name is? Hallelujah.
That's how the tacos, onions, lime, cilantro. Pour it out my cans like I'm a honcho. Numero, ocho, cinco. That's my number to get my taco. Underlay, mama, ia, uh-oh. What's happening now?
And no, this is not a whack attack. And all the suckers get pushed back, shaking together. When I'm kicking real fast, I represent motherfuckers setting up shit like a tent, boy. And motherfucker, you're paranoid.
Introducing Hellbear, the talking plush from beyond.
Shove the blessed cross right here, and I'll tell you what's burning.
He really talks. I love him.
We teleported an airplane. They're hiding magical technology from us.
My father gave me a soul, Miss Summers. His.
Come on, no.
The doctor's human son died as a baby. When he created me, he knew he would never worry about that again.
What the hell? What the helly? What the hell? What the hell? What the helly?
I found the Epstein file.
Good. I was just going to ask you about the Epstein file.
Were you really? Isn't that funny? We were both going to say the same thing.
That's funny.
Basically, their religion is to have their body become inhabited by demons, all right? That's what it is. I've read it, okay? This is all documented. They use hidden coded language and symbols, but pearls represent the secret, the secret mysteries, the hidden gems, the secret sauce, the secret teaching of all ages, the secret doctrine, the secret societies. They have a lot of secrets.
Do people want me to cover up the fact that we did this for national security? There is a lot of people out there that know these videos are real.
Turns out that the shooter's father worked for 29 years as a top contractor for the CIA and the DOD.
I have the heart of a small boy. I keep it in a jar on my desk.
I bet you get a lot of mileage out of that one.
I have never used that line before in my entire life.
Okay.
NASA scientists saw 7-foot-tall aliens. Said they're tall, black, and look like African Americans.
I love this video because it looks like animation, like something that somebody made, but it's actually real footage from the space shuttle, just sped up just a little bit. And this is a little video. It's about 4 minutes long here. So there's the space station. I love that this is not animation. This is film taken by a shuttle of the space station. And so this is real. It's not animation. Now, this looks like animation, and I'm very proud to know that it's actually real film. It's not a video game. People are living there.
I know this looks like animation, but it's actually really real.
I love this video because it looks like animation. It doesn't look real, but it is real.
I told you so.
You're kidding. What?
I told you so.
Okay.
Now, I know you have, I think, a role in Nashville Beat. Right. We're going to show a clip in a minute, but have you thought about expanding that and going on to the movies, maybe be a cowboy?
Yeah, I told them if they ever need somebody to be a bad guy, which is weird, I'd love to be a bad guy.
No, you don't want to be a bad guy, no. I mean, you look like a good guy, you know?
Okay, I guess. I'd rather kill somebody.
Oh, you would?
That'd be fun.
We've been right all along. Babe.
I'd rather kill somebody.
Babe, we fucking knew.
Did you know Columbus found black people ruling America when he arrived in 1492? His original ship log from October 12th tells a completely different story than what we learned in school. Columbus wrote about encountering black-skinned people who trade in black-tipped spears of gold across the Caribbean islands. The Spanish Royal Archives contain his detailed accounts describing established black populations with advanced metallurgy and vast trade networks. He was confused, finding people he called very well-formed with handsome bodies and fine faces, who possessed navigation techniques that impressed his crew. Columbus documented black chiefs wearing elaborate gold ornaments and controlling organized territories that stretched across multiple islands. In his suppressed letters, he described how these indigenous people had hair course, almost like the tail of a horse, and ruled sophisticated societies. But these original documents were systematically altered over centuries. The truth was buried to support the false narrative that indigenous Americans were light-skinned. Columbus didn't discover America. He found black people who were already the dominant population ruling their ancestral lands.
Down to the hypnotism from the goddamn flight attendants. You are nothing but a fucking fraud. Do me a favor. Stop sending me this guy's fucking videos when I already did a series 6 months ago on shit that this clown is just regurgitating out of his mouth. I'm sick and tired of lying ass, fake, NPC ass white people putting on a fraud, acting like they know something, acting like they're smart when they're just sitting back like fucking culture vultures waiting for their moment to strike. This little bitch right here, when they took my page down on TikTok, he must have thought I wasn't going to come back. Bitch, I'm back. I didn't even upload my whole entire 8-part series on the Jets Don't Use Fuel because it's already on my Facebook page. It's been there for 7-8 months now. I've been did this already. You didn't come up into anything. Please don't send me any more of this weak-ass, fake, pathetic, sorry-ass, rare steak, sun-burnt motherfuckers, fake-ass, lying, stealing, stolen-ass, wannabe download-having, soulless, cabbage goddamn patch, cave-dwelling motherfucking goddamn videos anymore. Get rid of this fucking clown.
We must put America first. This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything. What is left? We invented everything. And now it's AI. We invented everything. Does anyone have anything else to say?
Bomb there, bomb there, bomb everywhere. They're in the hospitals. Bomb the hospitals again. And geez, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. We're allowed to continue bombing people.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I got your order out here.
Oh, be careful. Be careful. It's so pretty.
No, it's a big collection.
It's a huge. Oh my God.
So we have mainly pottery, rocks, and bone.
Yes.
And wood.
I am here for this. This is so pretty. Wow. This is beautiful. OMG. Wow, 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 wow. I'm like,
there is a lot, huh?
Oh, I'm speechless. Oh my God. Holy guys. Look. This back here. This has to go like, look at it. Oh my God. They're so pretty. If something happened, I'm coming, I'm taking it. This one's wrapped too.
There it was. Edward, one of the original investigators of the three-fingered mummies, became visibly emotional when he saw it. A three-fingered being chiseled into the rock thousands of years ago. When I visited Maria, I saw no apparent signs of manipulation on the hands or the feet. One of the mummies has a fetus inside, and rumors are starting to spread that the images are showing the fetus to also have 3 fingers. I contacted the lawyer of the American scientist, Josh McDowell, who told me that the current imaging isn't good enough to say either way whether or not the fetus has 3 fingers. Some notable oddities regarding the mummies. Maria has 32 vertebrae, while most humans have 33. Not an impossible anomaly, but still notable. Maria has abnormally large eye sockets and a protruding mouth. Dr. Zuniga told me that the metal implants had organic tissue fused to them, indicating that they were alive whenever these were placed. This is a process called osseointegration, and it takes about half a year to fully complete. If these are fake, then this would be one of the greatest hoaxes of all time. If they're real, this would be one of the greatest discoveries of all time.
Did you hear about the fisherman that yesterday discovered an airplane at the bottom of Lake Tahoe? And it is baffling the experts' minds. They don't know how it got there, how long it's been there for, and whose it is. The fisherman was just fishing, minding his own business. He thought he snagged and caught a big one. He was super pumped, tried to reel it in for 2 hours, and when it wasn't coming up, he went down there to check out, and he saw this airplane. He said there was a bunch of gold bars in the sand on the side, and then a green substancer that he said it looked too sketchy to touch. So he went up, he told the local police, and he said within minutes, black SUVs showed up, one red H2 Hummer that looked like someone in it was super important, and it looked like U.S. governors, and they kicked him out, kicked everybody out. But he said he went around and he snuck back in the water disguised, and he was able to film this. He said these look like U.S. governors employees checking it all out. He filmed inside the airplane.
This 9/11 connection is blowing my mind. So Marvin Bush, George Bush's brother, Marvin was working at a security company called Stratosec with this guy, Barry McDaniel, who, in his own words, said he was in charge of what he called a completion contract to provide services up until the day the buildings fell down. Okay, so the security company, Stratosec, which was working as a security detail for the Twin Towers, was also working security detail for United Airlines, which flights 93 and 175 were United Airlines flights, as well as the Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C., which is where one of the other airlines, one of the American airlines took off that supposedly hit the Pentagon. And it just keeps getting better because they also contracted for Los Alamos National Laboratories, which, if I had to place a bet on where I think the nanothermite was developed, it would be Los Alamos. And then this company, Stratosec, which had been around since the late 80s and had just went public in 1997 but was a thinly traded stock, their stock price doubled right after 9/11 because so many more companies were looking for security. They're like, oh shit, we have to run from terrorist attacks. We better invest in security firms. But was Stratosec a good investment? No. It ended up basically dissolving in 2002, completely going bankrupt before 2004. It was almost like this company had fulfilled its purpose. And if all of that wasn't fishy enough for you, just wait for this one. The director of Stratosec, this guy Dexter Walker III, was also the chairman of Eigerhawk, which is an investment firm that made a shit ton of money by putting shorts on United Airlines just days before the towers went down. Funny how the director of the security company for the Twin Towers happened to also work at a bank that made money off of shorting one of the only 2 companies that got absolutely fucked because of the Twin Towers going down and, being hijacked. Never forget and remember that as the government grows, so does the shadow of tyranny.
And just totally abused and ended up working at a Four Seasons restaurant alone and dying by herself.
There's a Bainbridge Island. That's where she was
institutionalized right over there. There's this whole broken down like infirmary there.
For years, every night there were lines of custodians, friends, and people, you know, part of the staff who would wait in line to rape her every day. You know, she went through a lot of shit. And it just disgusts me, you know, to know that there are some of the people that are part of that conspiracy are living here in Seattle in their comfortable, cushy little homes with their families. And, you know, it's 20, you know, it's 40 years after the fact, and it's just
He's a just God,
makes me
not a
want to
fair
kill
one.
him.
Well, it's hiding in plain sight if you have eyes to see it. It's right there in front of you. What is that? What are you looking at? What is that? Is that a man or a woman? Come on, it's not that hard. Now, obviously, this person resembles Aleister Crowley, so probably is some kind of relation there. They're all kind of related somehow, right? At the end of the day, they got some kind of special bloodline that they're preserving. Practice androgyny, which means there's a controlled breeding program. They don't reproduce normally. It's controlled reproduction, new and improved, according to their beliefs. You got sperm and egg and synthetic biology. Whatever is going on, they seem to be enjoying it. All first ladies have been androgynous alchemists. Right? It's pretty obvious. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, come on, man, that's just a nasty old woman. It's a nasty old man, all right? Come on, man in a wig, all right? And it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. Let's keep this video between you and me, because it's just too disturbing.
Is the Earth flat? Oh, here we go. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this one, and I know for a fact people are just gonna scroll, but that's fine. Yes, it is. 100% it's flat. Matter of fact, 1,000% it's flat. Working for the Department of Navy, I can assure you it is definitely flat. The weaponry that we use, the technology that we have on the ships, all laser guided, trust me, wouldn't work on a ball. Let's just put it that way. It is a flat Earth plane. That's why you fly on an airplane, okay? You live on a plane, a flat plane. Just so you know, open up your Bible. It will tell you in the Bible that the Earth is stationary. It does not move, and it's flat. It's in the Bible. Go look it up. Anyway. On to the next question. Again with the glasses. What do you know about DUMBs? Another great question. And if you don't know what DUMBs are, it's deep underground military bases. That's what DUMBs are. A lot of people have been talking about this on TikTok, of how the elites are running away and they're going to go hide under the ground because they know that this catastrophe is coming. Not true. Not true. Okay? They've been living underground the whole time. Okay? How do you think they travel? How do you think they get from the East Coast to the West Coast? Do you think they jump on an airplane like me and you? No. There's an underground monorail that takes them from California to New York in probably an hour or less. And there's a whole city underground. Okay? With shopping centers and you name it, it's down there. I've actually seen the maps of this. I have an old one, and I also have an updated map, and I'll share that in one of my upcoming videos. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in this topic. There are entrances to a lot of these underground facilities. A lot of them are built into mountainsides, and they just kind of open up magically. And you'll see trucks driving in there bringing supplies. So if you wonder where all your food is gone, your real food, because if a lot of people will drive through America and they'll say, I see cows and I see pastures and I see corn and I see food being grown. Yeah, but it's not for you, okay? Your food is coming out of a laboratory and their food is being grown naturally from the earth. And it's going to the underground facilities. It's not going to you in your local supermarket. Now, you can still get some natural meats and beefs and things, but you have to go to a farmer's market or like a real butcher shop, and I would even question that to be.
People who could have changed the world and disappeared. First, Thomas Ogle, a young American mechanic, developed a revolutionary fuel system that eliminated the carburetor and allowed a car to travel over 100 kilometers on less than 2 liters of gasoline. The invention could be adapted to any vehicle and caught the attention of the industry, especially Shell, which even offered $20 million for the patent. Ogle refused, stating that the company would never allow the system to reach reach the public. Shortly after, in 1981, he was found dead under suspicious circumstances, officially attributed to alcohol and drugs, which did not match his personal history. To make matters worse, all documents about his creation disappeared. Many believe his death was a way to prevent his technology from disrupting the fuel market. Second, John Worrell Keely, in the 19th century, claimed to have developed a machine capable of generating unlimited energy through vibrations and hidden forces. He conducted public demonstrations but died before revealing all the details of his project. His documents and machines were mysteriously lost or destroyed.
The implications of those videos are massive. And so I risked it all. The moment I was confident that those videos were real, even when I wasn't 100% sure, I risked my life, my career, my whatever future credibility, if you care about that. Because I've worked on databases that use Citrix remote terminal sessions my entire life. Even in college, our system there used it. So when I saw the cursor and that it wasn't a camera recording of a screen, but an actual screen recording of a window with a mouse cursor coming on it, and the frame rate was different, I knew that was such strong evidence that the videos could no longer be ignored. And I risked everything to promote them from that position forward. Now, the evidence has not gotten weaker from that point. If anything, it's just got completely irrefutable at this point. I want people to understand that I'm coming from this from a place of honesty, and it's just the totality of the evidence that is the reason for the story that I'm saying. That totality of the evidence clearly shows the United States government is responsible for the disappearance of the plane and the cover-up. They recorded it, and they got caught when the footage leaked on the internet. It's clearly what the footage shows. Even if you were to think that it's hoax, that's what the footage is implying.
Why they look like a very specific nigga. He just basically said they look like niggas, okay? Secondly, there are 7 foot tall African Americans. You sure you just weren't looking at tall niggas? Did you go to the moon? Like, okay, so let's read the story and then we will do a deep dive. We'll do our research, but let's enjoy this first. A former NASA research scientist has come forward with claims of an alien landing at a U.S. Air Force base, and what he describes is unlike anything we've ever been told. He alleges that the ship touched down on U.S. soil at a remote Air Force installation where witnesses, now either deceased or sworn to secrecy, were stunned by what unfolded. Let's do a little deep dive, but if they do look like us, I agree with this comment. We safe out here. So
He told me that I have no education, no class, and to see what happens if we play each other outside of the U.S. And I said, I'm excited, bring it. So I can't speak on how she felt about it. That's something that you're going to have to ask her. But also, that has been a stigma in our community of, being not educated and all the things when it's the furthest thing from the truth.
I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks I give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
You understand, America was called the New World because they didn't know what was over here. They didn't know the names. They didn't know anything about anything over here.
Well, that's the white man called it the New World.
Right. Sorry, so when they came over here, well, these are all white people's names. Atlantis, Lemuria.
Africa.
America came from Vasako or something like that.
Americo Vespucci.
Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? All of these. I forgot what I was saying. All of these.
We'll talk about names and the Caucasoids.
Yeah. They changed the names though. So that's what I was saying. They changed the names or whatever. So all of them generally are speaking of the same people. That's like saying they changed us from being native or changed them from being indigenous to native to black or whatever. You're still talking about the same people. You know what I'm saying? You're still talking about the same people. You're still talking about the same time in history or the same occurrence.
And now you're black and African American, believe it or not.
You don't have to believe it. Don't believe it.
Yeah, for them, you got to be open to people. You got to let them do research for themselves at the end of the day.
Next thing you know, they're going to try to make you into a robot. 2020 shots. That's all I'm going to say about that.
As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against such fundamental laws of nature as self-preservation. But it was a discovery here in Basel, Switzerland, at Sandoz Laboratories by Dr. Albert Hoffman, that led the intelligence agencies of America to believe that they had found the panacea. The discovery was lysergic acid diethylamide, LSD. The film that you see is considered by many experts to be the closest illustration of the effects of a hallucinogenic.
Take, for example, number 9. Cerro El Cono in Peru. Deep in some of the wildest jungle of the Amazon rainforest, along the Peru-Brazil border, stands a very tall, pyramid-shaped mountain. Not a single photo has been taken of it from up close. Very little is actually known about it, and that has some people believing it is indeed an ancient pyramid, now covered by the jungle. It rises about 1,500 feet, and due to its prominence above a flat expanse of forest, it can be seen from extremely far distances, including from the Andes Mountains, 250 miles away. This would make it a fantastic vantage point for the uncontacted tribes who exclusively populate this area, namely the Iskanahua. However, word of mouth from nearby contacted tribes suggests that it may never be scaled by humans because the mountain is held in such high religious reverence, possibly seen as a guardian spirit due to its location at the headwaters of large tributaries to the Amazon River. The presence of these uncontacted indigenous people would make attempting an expedition out to it very dangerous. But what really keeps this place untouchable is the Peruvian government's extreme legal protections in this territorial reserve to preserve indigenous sovereignty and health, which means that not even researchers are allowed within several miles of the base of Cerro El Cono. This is not the only time we will see that the religious significance of a mountain can lead it to becoming a place where humans have never set foot.
You get instant petrification. It's the same tech used to make artificial stone today, except this happened on a global scale during the mud flood. Fossils aren't dead, they're dormant, and the system doesn't want you near them. Mythology speaks of titans, beings of immense scale who walked before the age of man, because if we remember what we're standing on, we remember what they killed to make room for us. Flood wasn't just about Tartaria, it was about wiping the past completely. It was a mass extinction, not just of people, but of giants, gods, original beings, and organic tech. Everything too big, too ancient, too free, collapsed under the weight of a sound that shook the Earth's bones. Then they buried it, rewrote the map, taught us we evolved from monkeys and that the bones in the ground are prehistoric lizards. No, they were witnesses and they were silenced in stone. And when the resonance wave hit, the energy hit them too. It calcified their cells, turned blood to mineral, flesh to rock, that now we walk on their backs, build cities on their chests, mine stone from their skulls. The Earth's terrain is not just rock and dirt, it's biological ruin. Some hills bleed iron when cracked, like oxidized blood. Some stones release smells, decay, rot, ammonia, when split. That's not geology, that's decomposition. But we're taught to call it natural, to pave over it, to never ask what mountain that used to be. But some of them, they're still here. You can feel them when you touch the rock, and they remember. After the mud flood, the world was empty, cities with no people, buildings with no owners. Infrastructure intact, but lifeless. Then came the orphans, thousands of them, shipped across continents on trains, alone, silent, reassigned. But who were they? Where did they come from? No parents, no records, no past, just children seeded into the ruins. And here's the horror. These weren't just orphans, they were replacements.
Did you know that in 1982, the Vatican Bank was caught laundering $800 million in cocaine money? For centuries, the Vatican stood as the world's moral authority, but behind closed doors, a shocking operation was unfolding. Archbishop Paul Marcinkus had turned the holy institution into a criminal empire. He used diplomatic pouches to smuggle cash across borders without inspection, created fake accounts under Saint names, and disguised drug money as religious donations. Mafia bosses made fake pilgrimages to personally deliver millions in cocaine proceeds directly to Vatican City. Italian investigators discovered that Vatican accounts contained more drug money than actual charity funds. When journalist Roberto Calvi threatened to expose everything, he was found hanging from London's Blackfriars Bridge. His pockets were stuffed with bricks and $15,000 in cash. The Mafia had silenced him permanently. Meanwhile, Marcinkus fled to Vatican City, hiding behind diplomatic immunity. The world's holiest place had become the epicenter of organized crime's financial network. Sacred walls protected the dirtiest money on earth.
No. You cannot make this shit up. Watch.
James Westman, let's read about him. Very interesting. Senior application developer at ESRI. What is ESRI? Well, ESRI is the leading original geospatial, satellite ground mapping, GPS, coordinate system for the Pentagon, Google, and everything else. He's been working there since 96, 29 years, 7 months. And at a whole bunch of other very interesting places. The GIS for Defense and Intelligence. Here's the company, the hands-down leader in all of it. ESRI is a global leader in geographic information systems, GIS software, and has various contracts with the U.S. government agencies, including the Central Intelligence Agency and the Department of Defense through GSA, schedules, enterprises, license agreements.
All right, so, I mean, you can't make this up. I mean, so, and there's a lot of similarities to other shooters and people who've worked at high levels of the U.S. intelligence community. Mass shootings, connections, of course, to the intelligence community in the United States. Again, coincidence? I don't think so, but we're going to continue to dig.
Greenwood Cemetery, Brooklyn, 1868. Come on, what was going on up here? Come on, make it make sense. What is going on here? What is going on here? This can't be serious, right? We never questioned this. What is going on here? Make it make sense. Look at this thing. Does this make sense? With the door and the cobras? Colonel Abraham. But why more characters? Gotta have a griffin. No, it's an eagle. He was a soldier. Yeah, he fought Colonel Bighorn and Custer. Burnham. What does that symbol mean? Who is this? Is that a real bird on top? You got him. You got her. And you got these people. Let's get into it. The Freedom Tower on a gloomy day in New York City. And you got this person. Yeah, nothing to see here. Happy Halloween. Altar to Liberty. I don't know. Does that make sense? No? Doesn't look a little weird? Doesn't look a little off? The mausoleum behind it? Who's in there? Higgins. I doubted Higgins. I doubted Higgins. No, just a pyramid under a head, under a hat. More Medusa chest, more snakes. Let's see her feet. Not that I have a feet fetish, but the statue's feet, long toes. Usually you got big feet, now they got long toes. Make it make sense. Sound off, who is this? And why do they keep having Medusa on their chest? You have Medusa over there. These guys over here. I don't know who this is. George Washington? What is going on here? And then this. Is this normal for Brooklyn in the 1800s? These are my ancestors, Brooklynites. That's what I looked like back in the day. Now look at me. Make it make sense. Who is this? And why are they all mixed together? Here. Greenwood Cemetery. Make it make sense.
So in case you missed it, the CDC is currently being sued by 2 pediatricians, and there are a lot of takeaways in this lawsuit that parents need to be aware of. So let's talk about them. First, who are these doctors that are suing the CDC? Well, the first is Dr. Paul Thomas. You might have heard of him. He wrote a book called The Vaccine Friendly Plan. And the second is Dr. Kenneth Stroller. Now, there are 3 main points in this lawsuit that I want us to talk about. The first is they are claiming that the CDC has never evaluated the cumulative effects of all 72 doses that are currently on the vaccine schedule. Page 10 of the claim states that neither the FDA nor the CDC has ever required or conducted safety testing of the cumulative childhood schedule. So what they're saying here is not only are vaccines not being tested against inert placebos during their trials, they are also not being tested to see if they are compatible with the other vaccines that are already scheduled to be given that day to the child. And then furthermore, they are not evaluating the schedule as a whole to see if all 72 of those doses in the body are safe together. Then on page 12 of the lawsuit, they go on to talk about the Institute of Medicine's 2013 report, and they bring up 2 excellent points. They say that no studies have compared the differences in health outcomes between entirely unimmunized populations of children and fully immunized children. Furthermore, studies designed to examine the long-term effects of the cumulative number of vaccines or other aspects of the immunization schedule have not been conducted. So here we see that the Institute of Medicine was asking the CDC to do these studies, which is exactly what that first doctor, Dr. Paul Thomas, did. He evaluated within his own patients in his own clinic. He looked at the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, and he published a study reporting what he found. Within 5 days of publishing that study, his medical license was removed. Second point in this lawsuit that we need to talk about is related to the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, or ACIP. When they recommend a vaccine, they can label it either Category A or Category B. When they label it Category A, that means that they think that it should apply universally to all children, as opposed to when they label it Category B, which means that shared clinical decision-making between the physician and the family based on individual circumstances is recommended. Now, it's important to note that almost every vaccine on the childhood schedule is currently labeled Category A. Now, this can mean big trouble for doctors who try to write medical exemptions for certain patients. It can cause them to lose their medical license. And that's exactly what happened to the second doctor in the lawsuit, Dr. Kenneth Stroller. So the third aspect of this lawsuit that we need to talk about are the biennial reports. So back when the 1986 National Vaccine Act was passed, there was a provision included that required HHS to submit to Congress every other year a report on vaccine safety. Now, guess how many of these biennial reports have been submitted to Congress since 1986? 0.
You need to see this clip. This is Donald Trump at the royal court shaking hands like usual. But then this guy shows up and completely steals the show. He grabs Trump's hand and doesn't let go to show that he is in complete control of this situation. And as you can see, what he says here completely rattles the president. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, he pulls a stack of pictures out of his pocket. He says a few words here, seemingly savoring this moment, and everybody in the back is wondering what the hell is going on. He shows the images to the president and the prince, and Trump immediately wants to take these pictures away from him. And then the mystery man and the prince share a laugh while Trump is just staring in disbelief. He tucks what he has away in his pocket and then snatches the other stack of papers from his hands, but he just laughs it off because I'm pretty sure he has his own copies. It looks like Trump is scrambling to explain himself, but they're obviously not buying it. If anybody knows who this guy is, or if you know how to read lips, it'd be pretty sweet if you could decipher what they're saying in this video.
On this wall, this is limestone. This is calcite crystal. So this entire section of the wall, this part here, and this part here, is all huge single slab of limestone. I mean, calcite crystal.
Calcite.
Yeah, alabaster.
Yeah. Wow.
You can see the difference
there.
between the limestone and the calcite crystal.
Wow.
Mafish Noah? Who's going to show us? What about your flashlight? This one's better. Yes, I know. All right. So he's going to show you.
Okay?
Yeah.
No statue, okay?
Yeah.
I know, okay? I see.
Okay, you see the figure?
Whoa.
You see the belly button and then the arms?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, these people won't keep you up at night. Look at these people. And this poor girl. Who are they? Right next to this big mausoleum. So extravagant for the 1800s. Is it just me? Charles Feltman? Is that the hot dog guy? For all you hot dog people, the alleged inventor of the hot dog, Charles Feltman. Look at this. Allegedly. I'm not saying allegedly to the hot dog part, but just look at this mausoleum. A little extravagant for the 1800s? No? This is what they did back then. We buried people with pride. They'd use brand new shovels to dig the hole. That's how much pride we took in burying people. Really? Really? Who are these ladies? Oh, we love Feltman's hot dogs. I bet you do. How about you? Oh my God, we're gonna miss that wiener. We love his dogs. We love you, Charles Feltman. R.I.P. I don't know why I'm giving him a Southern Belle accent, but make it make sense. There's just so many of these things. Hey, yo! We can't forget the lions. It wouldn't be a day without the lions. Yep. We're starting to see, the faces and things that we always see. Are those snakes? Yeah. With this dome on top. Who's Omer? Anyone? Bueller? Another bird on the statue. What was that? Caesar? Yeah, extra croutons, please. Right next to the Harry Potter entrance. Yeah. Nothing to see here, Greenwood Cemetery. Nothing to see here. Greenwood Cemetery, not sure when you were built, but you are absolutely gorgeous. Make it make sense.
Jacques Saint Germain, vampire of the French Quarters, you heard me? And the local legends say that he still roams around, the immortal vampire that once figured out how to never die. Now the story goes in the early 1900s, a middle-aged man by the name of Jacques Saint Germain moved to New Orleans from France, and he bought this house on Royal Street, and he started to throw these lavish parties for the city elites. Now, they say he would treat the guests with all type of lavish and fine meals, but he would never partake in eating anything. They say he would walk around the parties and only drinking red wine out of a glass. Now, during the parties, he would talk to his guests about old ancient stories, and they say that he was so detailed about these ancient times, it was like he was there at one point. Now, he claimed to be a descendant from Count Saint Germain in the 18th century, and he was an alchemist and a musician. Now, in the house, he would actually have a picture of Count Saint Germain, and the guests would wonder if those was actually the same person because they share similar physical details. That physical resemblance between them two started to spark up all type of legends at the party. Now, they say he was very charming and engaging. He would basically know how to seduce all of the girls through psychic manipulative abilities. One day, everything changed when an injured woman was found in front of Saint Germain's house. Lady jumped from the second floor balcony, so the police was summoned, and then she shared something to the police that was very shocking to everybody that was out there that was listening. Apparently, Saint Germain invited this woman inside the home, and when she got inside and just started to relax, she basically started looking over certain mantles that he had. So what she said was Saint Germain lunged at her and started to bite her on the neck. And as she was being attacked, basically somebody was knocking on the door. And throughout that moment, she was able to slip away and jump off the second floor. Now, after hearing the accusations, they spoke with Saint Germain, and he assured to them that he had made no such attack. Now, given it being a late hour, Saint Germain agreed that he would pull up to the police station the next day so he can give him his formal statement. Now, apparently the police didn't believe the girl. They was inclined to believe him because he was wealthy and had a lot of ties with the political figures inside the city. Now, this decision somehow turned out to be a mistake because the next day, Saint Germain didn't appear to go to the station. So what the police did was pulled up Saint Germain's house. Now, when they got to his house and was knocking on the door, nobody came to the door. Now, the reports say when they broke down the door and they went inside the house, all the police that saw everything was shocked. What they noticed was all of Saint Germain belongings was gone. He left the previous night. Now, as the police looked around, they saw nothing but blood stains on the carpets. He had no food, no utensils, no type of dinnerware. But they did find a bunch of corked wine bottles. Now, when they opened the wine bottles, they noticed that the wine was filled with wine and blood. So no one never knew where he fled to, and the police said he was never to be found again. Now, today, local legends say his house is still haunted, and they sometimes see him roaming around over there. And most of the New Orleans vampires today look at him as a god. And they all say that he still roamed the French Quarter till this day.
The amendment took 203 years to ratify. It was written before electricity and became a law after the invention of the internet. Back in 1789, James Madison proposed a rule. If Congress votes to change its own salary, it wouldn't take effect until after the next election, so voters could hold them accountable. The idea was simple. No self-dealing, but only 6 states ratified it. Then it sat forgotten for almost 2 centuries. In the 1980s, a Texas college student named Gregory Watson rediscovered the amendment while writing a paper he got a C on. He decided to prove his professor wrong by convincing states to ratify it. He mailed legislators around the country for years, and in 1992, enough states finally agreed. The 27th Amendment became law 203 years after Madison first wrote it. Today, it technically limits Congress's ability to instantly boost their pay, but it doesn't stop them from raising it later or padding benefits in other ways.
I want to show you the comparison to what was given to us by the comic guy and what we are given today. I think this comparison right here is just shocking. To me, it's undeniable proof that we are not moving forward. We are not advancing. This is clear proof, in my opinion, that there was a group here that fully understood how to construct palaces all over the world. There is something massive missing from our textbooks. What we are told does not make sense at all. It's just incredible. I could look at the comparisons from the old world to our world all day long. It couldn't get any more obvious that the history that we are given is not the truth.